I'm Mohammedian, and I'm going to explain something about distribution of content pages. By clicking on this link, you can find visual instruction to distribute the pages through different options of distribute page, individual distribution, group distribution, and to another class notebook. If you follow the steps, you can reach the goals of distributing your page. Let's start with the real class work. On this class notebook, you can see, for example, in teacher only, we have created some worksheet, like that worksheet number 1 and worksheet number 2. Now we are going to distribute this worksheet to the different section of the students. So we have to click on a class notebook and then click the drop down menu of distribution page and click on the distribute page. This option, distribute page, will distribute the worksheet or any content page to the all students together. Even if you add some of the teachers to your team, for example, like this part, I add, for example, Dr. Debo as a member to my team. I added her as a member because if you can remember, I told in a workshop that if you add a teacher as an owner to your class notebook, the teacher can access to all of the resources in your notebook. So it's if you need, for example, sometimes to collaborate with another teacher, same teacher of the same grades, or for example HODs or anyone that for example you are going to design, for example, exam paper, it's better that you add them as a member and then send them individually. On this part again, I want to distribute worksheet number 1 to all of the students. So I will click to the distribute page. On this part, it just asked me that on which section you are going to distribute this page. For example, I want to distribute this page on class note, for example, or for example, I don't want to send to the worksheet right now because I want to explain about it later. Or even no problem, I want to, for example, send here. So I will, because this is a worksheet, I want to send it as a worksheet to the September month and distribute it. According to the number of students that the worksheet or content page is going to be distributed to them, it takes some time. As number of students increased, the time that time of the distribution will be increased as well, and it depends to the traffic of the Microsoft Teams as well. With the high traffic, it takes more time. Now you can see, for example, because you distributed worksheets, the worksheet number 1 to the all students by the clicking on the distribute page to the worksheets September month. So you can see, for example, a student number 1 in the worksheets September. You can see the worksheet number 1, and this is same, for example, for the other students. For example, student 2. If you go to the student 2, this is the student view worksheet section September, and you can see worksheet number 1 here. Okay, this is same for the other student as well, and even for the teacher. You can see, for example, even teacher received the worksheet of the September month. But maybe you don't want to send all of your worksheet to the teacher or teachers. So you will choose, if you want to, for example, distribute this page or other pages, we will choose another worksheet, for example, worksheet number 2, and we want to distribute this worksheet, this content page, to individual students or individual people in your group. So if there is, for example, a document that you want to get help from another teacher or share with another teacher, here you can only select the teacher and distribute it to the exact section of the for example it belongs to. For example, if I'm going to the again worksheet and the worksheet September, in the September month, you can distribute there. Or for example, if going to be as a for example project, in the section of project, you can send in the project. If I send it, for example, in the September of the worksheet and distribute it, you can see that only the teacher can receive after finishing of distribution. We should let's yes to finish. You can see, for example, underneath of the teacher sections in September month, you can see the worksheet number 2. But if you, for example, go to the student number 1 and September month, you cannot see worksheet number 2. Or for example, on student 4, if we want to check, for example, in section September, you cannot see worksheet number 2 here as well. So you can use this option when you want to send for individual. When we say individual, it doesn't mean that the individual means that only one. You can choose all of them as well, for example, all of them, all of the members. But if you want to send to all of the members, it's going to be as a distribute page to the all members, option number 1. So if you want, for example, send a quiz or the worksheet or something for a student that she or he was absent in your class, and she or he lose taking an exam to your class, you can send them individually to only one or maybe more than one. So the another one, for example, if you want to distribute a quiz or a worksheet, anything, any content page to a group distribution, we want to know how we can do it. Look at here. For example, I created 2 groups. What is the groups? For example, you have a different student in your class with the different abilities. Usually we say, sometimes we say that as a senior student, or sometimes, for example, as above the level, on level, and below the level. It's not good that we name a group of the students with the name of the above or below the level or senior student, and that's why it's better we name them with something else, for example, flowers name, or for example something else, toys, or anything that they love to be a member of that groups. And you should remember that which group exactly include which students. For example, in this group, rose group, we assign, for example, we include one of the students as a sender student, for example, to this group. You can edit it, means that you can select another student or add another student, and even you can change the name of this. If you cannot remember what exactly is the member of this group, you can just click on the arrow and find exactly which students belong to this group. Now, if you want to add another group, you can make it with, the first of all, you should name, for example, flowers, the common names of 2. and you add, for example, some student like this to this group, and save it. And then you want to send this quiz, for example, to special group. So go back one step and choose exactly the group that you are going to send them. If you don't remember, because we want to check it, we remember that student 1 will receive quiz number 1. So I will click on next. It asks me which section you are going to send. For example, I say the quiz is number 1 because I cannot remember in the Farsi video I sent it to it yes or no. That's why I will send to the another one, projects, and distribute it. So I expect that only one student will receive the quiz number 1 and in the project section, and no one else. Go to this part after finishing of the distribution and look at here. For example, if you look at to the projects of this teacher, you cannot see any file with name of the quiz number 1. Go to the student 1 projects. You can see quiz number 1 here, and to the another student, for example, student 3, in project section, you can see this file, this page here as well. So you could distribute special page to the special groups here. Remember, the groups that you have been created here, these are not going to be in the collaboration space or somewhere else. Only you distribute the pages to them, and you should remember, make a note and remember it, that which group, which students belong to the which group. And finally, another one, for example, if I want to send this worksheet, this classwork, for example, this classwork I'm going to distribute to another notebook. It will ask me to which notebook you are going to send it. As always, I told you that you can send any document or can transfer any pages, any section from another notebooks if only and only you be as an owner of that notebook. For example, I can select the teacher notebook, click on next. It asks me that you are going to distribute to this notebook and to what section. For example, I want to say go to the handout and distribute it. So classwork number 1 is going to distribute to the handouts of teacher notebook. So it's better we go to the team work of a teacher, jump to class notebook, and then go to the, for example, handout section, and see that this work number 1 or this page distribute to all of the members in the handouts note section of teacher teams, teacher class notebook teams. Let's go to this notebook and class notebook. Okay, we review all of them, and now we are going to know something about distribute new section and distribute new section group. What is exactly? is that distribute new section, not distribute a page to new section. Means that you're going to create a new section in the each students or each member section. So we click on distribute new section and, for example, give a name on it. I will give the name of, for example, labs. Okay, and distribute it. As you can see, now if I open the students number 1, I can see the lab section on this part as well. Or for example, if I go to the student number 2, this is same. We can see the lab section again underneath of the student name and even the teacher name. Why? Because this teacher is as a member of this class notebook. The next one is that distribute new section group. What's that distribute section group? If, for example, you want, I want to show you, for example, in the video in Farsi, I show, for example, we have some worksheets, and usually in our classes, we send lots of the worksheets during a month or weeks, for example. That's why I can except of, for example, some private channels in the class notebook, we can add some worksheets, some groups as well, and subgroup as well. For example, here we add a new section group as worksheets because the number of the worksheets, is much during, different months. And as a subsection of this group, we make, for example, September, October, and we can continue it as a November, December, and after, after creating this group, if we want to add, more section, just we can right click and by the click on new section, we can add more months as well. But here, just by, this option, we can create a section group. So here I want to add something else. For example, we have classworks, projects. What's is better? For example, anything. I want to add, for example, some section group with name of art. Okay, and underneath of art, for example, I want to have something about the, for example, painting, or something about, for example, drawing, or anything else. Okay, you can create this section group with some subsections of this group and distribute it across the students and all member sections. Usually it takes some time. It takes some time, and it's mentioned, you look at here, it's mentioned that it's distributed. Now, if you go to the student number 1, for example, look at here, I told you, takes some time. For example, we go to the student number 2, refresh it. Usually it takes 2 or 3 minutes, and maybe sometimes more, because it depends to the traffic of the Microsoft Teams. And you can see now art group is created with the subsection of painting and drawing underneath of that. Okay, and in our main notebook, you can see now, for example, student number 2, again, the art should be here. It is interesting. In the group, in the students is created, but here it doesn't show itself. It takes time. because it's going to create, look at it, it's going to create one by one to the different, you know, to the different, for example, members. So you have a subsection, a section group of the art and subsection of the, for example, drawing, painting, or anything like that. The last one on this video is about copy to content library. For example, if I have something, for example, some worksheet, or for example, some lesson plan, or some content page, anything about my lessons, I can copy these pages to the my content library. Okay, as in my content library is, there is no extra section. It's only the section that regular section that explain about this this section, main section. That's why only this one is available to select by me and send, copy this page to that. If I added some section, more section, there is a list that I can choose between them exactly to which place I'm going to copy a page to the library, and by the clicking next it goes there. I will explain about the review student work because this is very important part. That's exactly the part that you can give feedback to your students. That's why it's going to be in another video.